All right. Deontay Wilder snaps on Pauli Malinaggi, and by connection, Showtime, in an interview that took place during the announcement for the Deontay Wilder Luis Ortiz fight. Let's talk about that and something Al Bernstein has said in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. And also thank you so much to everybody that supports the channel and encourages the channel, specifically my supporters that watch the videos all the way to the end and then let me know what they think and what their questions are and comments at the end of in the comment section. And also thank you to everybody that goes to our live stream, OG Boxing Talk on Sunday, and support the Patreon, Finance, business, and politics. Yeah, I think you'll really like the content over there. Thank you guys so much for your support and encouragement. All right, big fight. Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz is the next, I think it's the next major pay-per-view up on deck for the PBC. And I am nervous again. These PBC fights, pay-per-view fights have been very, very competitive, very good fights. I have no complaints about him whatsoever. We just came off one last weekend with Errol Spence Jr. and Shawn Porter that was worth every penny. So while there's a whole lot of people out there talking about how pay-per-view is dead and they're charging you all this money for fights and how you should go to this network or that network because they're not doing that, I'm yet to see a fight on any of these on DAZN or ESPN or regular Showtime, regular Fox that put up the amount of excitement that I saw at that higher level of boxing between Shawn Porter and Errol Spence Jr. on Saturday. It was off the chain. But this video is not about that. The video is about another pay-per-view fight that's coming up on Fox in November. I think it's November 23rd or November 28th. Forgive me for not remembering that exact date. But last Saturday in November for sure, Deontay Wilder is going to fight Luis Ortiz. This is a very, very dangerous fight for Deontay Wilder. Another dangerous fight for Deontay Wilder. And one that I hope, because I'm a Deontay Wilder fan and I want to see unification in the heavyweight division or undisputed in the heavyweight division, I hope is significantly less stressful than the one with Errol Spence Jr. and Shawn Porter. But as we remember the fight that we watched between the first fight between Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz, man, that was just, it wasn't exciting in the same way that Spence Porter was with just the action. But it was very exciting because of the finish, the knockdowns, and just knowing that one of these two big old boys, big men, can land a shot at any time they can end the fight, right? And that's the tension you get in heavyweight fights, at top level heavyweight fights with big punchers. You might not have that, worry so much with like if Jarrell Big Baby Miller is fighting Joseph Parker, right? But when you get a Deontay Wilder in there and Anthony Joshua in there, or even a Derek Chisora in there, definitely a Derek Chisora, a Dillian White can end a fight like that, and Luis Ortiz can definitely end a fight like that. That's the tension that you get. So, it's gonna be a good one. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, the most, but that announcement was expected. The most interesting thing about the fight, about the announcement, is the network that the fight's going to be on, and that's on Fox, not on Showtime. As people know, or if you're familiar with Deontay Wilder, you would know that Deontay Wilder has fought since the PBC left HBO and went to Showtime. I believe Deontay Wilder was originally on some HBO cards. But since he's become a champion And a little bit before that, he's been fighting on Showtime. And this is the first one that he's going to be on Fox. So there was speculation about why that took place. Now, I did a video. You can check out the video. It's still up. And maybe I'll put one up here, or put a little tag up there so you can find it. But if not, it's on the channel. And basically what I say is, I ask a question. Did Deontay Wilder leave Showtime? And I said leave Showtime. I know that he wasn't signed to a multi-fight deal, but I'm saying he now is fighting on Fox, so he's not fighting on Showtime. Was that the amount of money caused by the money that was offered for the fight by Fox? Or was it that Deontay Wilder wasn't happy with Showtime? Or could it be some combination of the two? And I was asking that question and seeking people's opinion about that opinion. My opinion was that, yeah, it was probably both. One side of it, Fox probably offered a lot of money because these guys are pushing pay-per-views and they are really pushing and promoting fighters over there on Fox big time. They got a really big budget, they're a much bigger network than Showtime. So Fox could pay more money than Showtime can, because even if it's more money, it's a smaller percentage of their budget than Showtime can. So, and then Steven Espinoza, who I have respect for Steven Espinoza. I don't think I've ever said a bad word about Steven Espinoza. And I really wish the best for Steven Espinoza and Showtime Boxing, because I think those guys have done a really, really good job for boxing over the last multiple years. Definitely preferred them over HBO, but the commentators for the Deontay Wilder fight, I believed from listening to the commentary that those guys had an issue and were not very supportive of Deontay Wilder. Now, if I was Deontay Wilder, I would see that, I would hear that, and I wouldn't appreciate it. And if I had a chance to say, okay, well, this guy's offering me more money, I'd love to be loyal to you, but why would I be loyal to you if you keep allowing your commentators to tear down my market value? And that's what they did. So there was another guy who was on Twitter, I can't remember the guy's name, but he put a post up saying pretty much the same thing, that Deontay Wilder had left Showtime or didn't sign with Showtime because of the biased commentary from Pauli Malinaggi and the commentating crew, however you say that. And Al Bernstein said, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, but don't let that get in your way of talking. So I was like, okay, interesting. Because on Champside Boxing, shout out to Champside Boxing, because that's where I saw it, on the Champside Boxing's page. You can go to their page. They had an interview up. The picture, it shows a picture of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury with a big gash over his head. And for the bulk of the interview, Deontay Wilder is saying that he felt like Pauli Malinaggi and Steve Farhood were biased against him in the coverage of the sport. And he had never been on a network where the commentators supported him. It was always about what Deontay Wilder needs to do differently, what the other guy is doing well. And he's like, and the scorecards for Steve Farhood, he given all those rounds, all the beginning rounds, to the benefit of basically saying, giving Tyson Fury the benefit of the doubt for the first 5 rounds where there's nothing happening. Right? Where for the first 5 rounds, Deontay Wilder said, I won the first 5 rounds. Tyson Fury didn't do anything. Only thing he did was, wave his hand in the air, stick his hand behind his back, stick his tongue out. And he's like, that's not scoring. That's not boxing. You don't score that. He said I said, I could have done that, but I wasn't going to waste my energy sticking my tongue out and waving my hands around. And then he said, well, thank goodness we have experienced referees that don't take that into consideration. But Steve Farr, he's like, but if you just listen to how Pauli Malinaggi covers the fight, that is what Pauli Malinaggi and those guys were doing. Giving the benefit of the doubt to Tyson Fury, spending the majority of their commentary talking about what Deontay Wilder needs to do differently, what he's not doing, and what the other guy is doing, and which is putting in all of the people that are watching this, all the casual fans that are watching it, what they're hearing out of Pauli Malinaggi and Steve Farhood is Deontay Wilder needs to do this differently. This guy, Tyson Fury, is doing this well. He needs to do something different. He's doing something well. What would that lead people to believe about who won the round if they're not watching the punches? It's going to lead people to believe Tyson Fury was doing better than Deontay Wilder, and they're being led that way by the commentary, which is why for years with Showtime, definitely with HBO, you people who watch boxing and watch boxing for years often do this. They turn the volume off. They just hit the volume, turn it down, and watch the fight without listening to them. And it is known by people who watch boxing on a regular basis that if you truly want to be objective and see what's going on in the ring, you have to turn the volume off because on your TV, because those commentators are going to share their opinion, and you can't help but be affected when somebody's in your ear giving you their opinion. So to what Al Bernstein said, saying, yeah, well, you don't know anything, don't let that get in the way of talking. My question, I responded on Twitter. I put it up there and I put a link to Champside Boxing. I was like, look, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but Deontay Wilder is mighty open about the biased commentary on Showtime. Al, don't act like Deontay Wilder hasn't said that before, or that other people haven't said that before. And I respect Al Bernstein. I like Al Bernstein. I think he's a straight shooter. I think he gives his opinion in as polite a manner as he can, right? But the same thing that Showtime that happened with HBO that turned people off about HBO. Over time, you begin to confuse your opinion with fact. And maybe these guys don't realize how they're subtly influencing the opinion of the million people that are watching this fight, and more than million, because there's a bunch of people watching on illegal streams. So you're out there leaning your commentary against Deontay Wilder directly into the ear of 11 million people. And you don't think maybe that would piss somebody off and say, nah, all things being equal, I'm not dealing with you. If somebody's going to offer me more money and they're going to give me fair commentary, hey, man, I'm going with them. Because Lennox Lewis is compare Lennox Lewis to Pauli Malinaggi, and it ain't no question about who's the straighter shooter there. It's Lennox Lewis. Pauli Malinaggi is out there getting mad about, criticizing the referee for giving fighters breaks and how, he's all that crap. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out.